एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः. शांति मंत्र. ओम सहनाववतु.
ओम सहनाववतु.
सहनौ भुनक्तु.
सहनौ भुनक्तु.
सह वीर्यं करवावहै.
सह वीर्यं करवावहै.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु.
मा विद्विषावहै.
मा विद्विषावहै.
ओम शांति शांति शांतिः.
ओम शांति शांति शांतिः.
ओम शांति शांति शांतिः.
ओम शांति शांति शांतिः.
Hari Om Tat Sat. So we will repeat Nachiketa's 2 questions and then go to up to the second question only we had done. That is, first one is first chapter, 20th. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manusye.
येयं प्रेते विचिकित्सा मनुष्ये.
अस्तीत्यैके नायमस्तीति चैके.
अस्तीत्येके नायमस्तीति चैके.
एतद्विद्यामनुशिष्टस्त्वयाहम्.
एतद्विद्यामनुशिष्टस्त्वयाहम्.
वराणामेष वरस्तृतीयः.
वराणामेष वरस्तृतीयः.
The next question, that is the 14th verse of the second chapter. Yesterday we did. Anyatra dharmad anyatra dharmat.
अन्यत्र धर्माद् अन्यत्रा धर्मात्.
अन्यत्रास्मात् कृताकृतात्.
अन्यत्रास्मात् कृताकृतात्.
अन्यत्र भूताच्च भव्याच्च.
अन्यत्र भूताच्च भव्याच्च.
यत्तत् पश्यसि तद्वद.
यत्तत् पश्यसि तद्वद.
So you must remember this. This is the last question of Nachiketa, the second question. And he is asking that, oh Yamaraja, whatever you are telling, I have listened to it, but what I want to know is if you know anything which is beyond the code of dharma and adharma, the moral code, which is beyond the causality, cause and effect chain, and which is beyond time, transcending time, that is beyond past, transcending past and future, which means present also. That present is not there, as I said. If you see anything like that, you please tell me. Now, in this question itself, we find that Nachiketa already had the theoretical idea, or he had done the manana about the truth. He knew about the truth, but he did not have the aparokshanubhuti. He wanted to master the truth, realize it first hand. I generally use the word realizing it first hand because it is a truth about our own Atma. Until we realize it ourselves, the first hand discovery, it will not have its full effect because it is not a discovery about anything else. It is a discovery about our own self. So, initially we have to listen to the truth, then we have to do manana, rumination, understand with as many kinds of logic my intelligence raises everything, and then Being satisfied, we have to contemplate on it till it shines naturally in the intelligence. So in other words, we call it Shruti Yukti Anubhava. The other day I said Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Another way of looking at it is called Shruti Yukti Anubhava. Shruti means we listen to the truth preferably from a knower or from the Shastras. Then we apply our yukti, our logic, our intelligence, whatever inquiries are there, with that we try to understand it. But this truth cannot be established by any such argument. Nothing can be established by argument. Even in science also, the final verdict is the experimental result. Suppose if we leave the book, instead of falling here, it would have gone up. Then we would have formed a different model of gravity, so that it is going up will be explained. So by no argument can anything be established fully, but it can take us to the ultimate level, give us the hint of it. Finally, it has to be an experimental discovery to establish it. In this case also, it is the fundamental point is the anubhava, shruti, yukti, anubhava, that we have to experience the truth. Then only it becomes fully understood or realized, we say. This anubhava is difficult here, as I said, I explained earlier also, because it is aparoksha anubhava. Normal, we know about the knowledge is pratyaksha and paroksha. Pratyaksha means perceptions with the sense organs, and paroksha means inference. Based on the perceptions we infer. The most of the scientific discoveries, models and all, they are all inferences based on the perceived truth. But because it is neither in the ken of pratyaksha or paroksha, it becomes difficult. So in the aparoksha anubhava, we should remember that there is no duality there, that I am knowing the truth, that some knowledge is there and I am knowing, that kind of a difference is not there. There is no knower and known difference. Knowledge, knowing process, knower, everything gets merged there in the transcendental oneness. Because when we say oneness also, we are mistaken. Because oneness also, there is objectivity in it. When we say one, there is a concept of two and many, that is why we are saying one. Otherwise, we would not say one. So it is transcending that concept of oneness also, but to eliminate the multiplicity and division, we say one. When one deals with the division and multiplicity, then we can reach the transcendental level. That is the idea. Now, the similar, you will find, we had done the Mundakopanishad, where right in the beginning, here it is Nachiketa's question, and there Shaunaka asked Angiras that Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati iti. By knowing what, O great seer, everything will become known. That means I will not have any more inquiry, any more doubt about the truth. There also, right in the beginning, in the 6th shloka, the highest truth is presented in the similar form, almost in the same form. Angiras is saying. Then after presenting it, he comes down to a lower level and again gives illustrations and builds up the truth. That is the way our Shastras always deal with. In Mundakopanishad, it comes as the 6th verse. You may not have Mundakopanishad. It says, Yat tadadreshyamagrahyamagotramavarnam achakshushrodram tadapanipadam Nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam tadavyayam yad bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. He says, Tad avyayam yad bhutayonim paripashyanti dhiraha. Dhiraha means the knowers of truth. What do they see? Paripashyanti. They see everywhere. They see that alone everywhere. Not that they see in some going somewhere, something, or in the idol or anything. No. It is all filled with the truth, that alone. Paripashyanti dhiraha. Tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim. Bhuta yonim means, yoni means the womb, the source of everything. Bhuta yonim means the whole objectude is coming from that. When we say source, again, you should remember yesterday's our discussion on Vivarta Srishti and Parinama Srishti. When we say source, there is a concept of as if it is a Parinama Srishti. That is, there was a source from which the universe has is born. So it is not in that source, not in that sense. Why? We can easily understand. He says, Tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim. Avyayam means unchanging. Avyaya means undecaying, unchanging. Now, if the source is undecaying, unchanging, then it cannot be a material source. In material source, always the cause undergoes a change to produce an effect. As I said, the sun, the hydrogen has to change into helium to give the radiation. Any change, the source is getting changed in Parinama Srishti. Here it is not. So it is pointed out in this. We should be so careful about each word. Bhuta yonim means immediately we think that where from the whole universe has come. And our idea will be an objective source for the objective universe. There is no objective source for the objective universe at all. The whole thing is appearing in the subject, in the consciousness. That is why they are saying tad avyayam yad bhuta yonim. That is the bhuta yoni, the source which are apparently source, it is not undergoing any change at all. That means it is not really a source. We can better call it a substratum on which it appears, the canvas on which it appears. But again, whatever we say, we will have an objective concept. The moment I say substratum or canvas, you will think there is something like the ether or so, this and that, on which it is appearing. It's not like that. It is in me. The final reply comes from the ultimate source is what I am. So in that amness, everything is appearing, everything is getting destroyed also, everything is disappearing also. So he says that dhiraha paripashyanti, they see everywhere, all around, every time, always, the avyayam bhuta yonim, from which the whole universe has come, they say everywhere. The first three lines are the description about the truth. He is saying, Yattad adreshyam agrahyam agotram avarnam. Adreshyam means which cannot be seen. Now, one only they will refer. That means cannot be perceived with any of the five sense organs. We need not say that cannot be heard, cannot be touched, all those things. All the five sense organs are represented by the eyes, the drishyam. Adreshyam means it cannot be perceived by any of the organs, sense organs. Then agrahyam, that means it cannot be grasped. That means it cannot be handled by any of the karmendriyas. Agrahyam means ungraspable, means it cannot be handled or touched by any of the karmendriyas. Agotram, gotra is our lineage. Agotra means it is beyond causality. There is no gotra in it. Lineage means there is a causality. There is no gotra for it because it is, that's all. Agotram avarnam. Varna is that which creates division, fragmentation. Only when there is varna, difference and all, we can isolate various things in that. Avarnam means it does not have any such perceptible changes. Actually, we say color, but even without color also, in a colorless thing also, if the refractive index changes, then you can identify the difference. Suppose we hold a colorless glass here, you can identify it different from the other areas. That is because of the change in the refractive index. So that also to be taken in the varnam here. Avarnam means it cannot be fragmented by any color. Achakshu shrotram tada panipadam. Not only that it cannot be perceived or acted upon by any of the jnanendriyas and karmendriyas, and it is beyond causality and beyond fragmentation, it does not have chakshu, shrotra, pada, pani, that is hands, feet, eyes, ears, nothing it has. That means it does not have the usual qualities of a subject also. The first line is saying it does not have any of the objective properties. That object means it has to be perceptible. It has to be acted, it can be acted upon. It has a causality. It has a fragmented appearance. These are the object properties. So the first line we can say Vastu Guna Varjita. Vastu Guna Varjita. That means it does not have any property, any parameter of an object. It is not within the ken of objectude. Then is it a subject? No. It does not have the usual parameters of a subject also. It does not have eyes, ears, anything. So it is neither you can call it a subject. Nityam vibhum sarvagatam susukshmam. Nityam means where there is no change at all. Always it is the same, identical always. There is no change in it. Vibhum means from which all the forms have come, but by itself it is formless, which has given rise to all the forms, by it is transcending all forms. Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam. Nityam means transcending time. Vibhum means transcending form. Sarvagatam means all pervading. But whenever we are saying all pervading, again we will see in terms of the objects that something is pervading all the objects, like air pervading everything, or electromagnetic field pervading everything, or the space pervading anything. Our ideas always will be objective. It is not that. The whole objective universe is an appearance in this consciousness. So is it not pervading the whole? It is not in the sense of objective pervasion. But the whole universe is appearing in that. It is sustained by it. Without that, nothing will be there. The whole perception is coming in this. So that is the Sarvagatam, means it is beyond space also. Everywhere means everywhere. But here it means transcending space, the idea of space also. Because space, time, these are all objective concepts. These are all to do with the objectude. Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam Susukshmam. The moment we say Susukshmam, again we think that subtler than this, subtler than that. We have always the objective vision in our front, that air is subtler than the solid, water is subtler than the solid, air is subtler than water, space is subtler than air, like that. But it is not like that. Here it is, whether it is gross or subtle, everything is appearing in that. So it is transcending the idea of gross and subtle also. Susukshmam means it is anything, any subtlety you think of, it is beyond that. It is still subtler than that, because it is not an objective subtlety that we are talking about. Both gross and subtle are appearing in this truth. This is the idea. So there, right in the beginning, this is the truth, and it is the Avyayam Bhuta Yonim. So the whole thing of Vivartavada is coming there itself, that it is not a Parinama Srishti, it is not from material, that God got some material and with that He created the universe. The whole universe is appearing in consciousness, and it is disappearing in consciousness also. Nothing is changing in consciousness by the appearance or disappearance of it. So here Nachiketa, what he is asking, it is almost the same thing, but it is in the form of a question, that if you know something, because Nachiketa has not realized the truth. There Angiras had realized, and he is saying this is what the truth is, right in the beginning. Then he takes simpler illustrations and examples and goes ahead. Here Nachiketa is asking that if you know anything like that, what is transcendental, you please tell me about that. After that starts the main Upanishadic instruction. Now again here you will find that he starts from a very basic level and then goes step by step. That is the general Upanishadic way of answering anything. So the first verse, it is a great synthesis of everything. That in our country, whatever goes in the name of spirituality, yoga, religion, austerities like vrata, tapas, fasting, whatever, puja, upasana, meditation, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means practicing celibacy. Whatever practices are there, religious or spiritual practices, he is saying that it is all directed with the one fundamental goal. The goal of all is same, which we often miss. Suppose those who are meditating, they think of the meditation means I will get some bliss or ananda. Some people will have that idea. That is not the goal. In some cases they will think that I want to become thoughtless. Arey thoughtless ke baad kya hoga? By becoming, the mind is meant to be active. If you become thoughtless forever, then you will become a patient. Is it not so? So, thoughtless, if you try to become thoughtless in meditation, there must be some purpose beyond that. It is not just to become thoughtless. But we lose the purpose. We forget that there is a goal behind also. So we get stuck in the meditation and try to struggle with the mind, fight with the mind to become thoughtless, and then end up in becoming a defeated soldier after the meditation is over. So it is not like that. He is right in the beginning pointing out that whatever austerities, even those who are not getting married to practice brahmacharya or celibacy throughout life, great sacrifices they make. They don't take to any. There are people who take up sannyasa and go to the forest, rejecting all the luxuries and all. Everywhere the final goal is this. What is this? Knowing our own real identity. What is that real identity? Which is the source of the universe, which is universal. That is our real identity. So it will make us also universal. That is why this dharma is called Sanatana Dharma. Our dharma is called Sanatana Dharma. Why? Sanatana means eternal. That means if you follow this dharma, it will make you eternal. That is one. Another is that the dharma by itself is eternal, because it is talking about the Shashvata truth, the eternal truth of our own identity. So whatever the civilization whatever changes the civilization may undergo, our real identity is not going to have any change at all. That remains always same. So it is eternal in its content, and by following this dharma one becomes eternal. That is why it is called Sanatana Dharma. So we will chant this verse. Yesterday we chanted also. Sarve Veda Yat Padamananti
Sarve Veda Yat Padamananti
Tapamsi Sarvani Chayadvadanti
Tapamsi Sarvani Chayadvadanti
Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti
Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti
Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi
Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi
Om Ityetat.
Om Ityetat.
He says that all the Vedas, the four Vedas, whatever goal they are speaking about. So it is understood that although they have criticized the Karma Kanda, the goal of Karma Kanda also is this. The problem I am repeatedly insisting is that those who are getting trapped by the Karma Kanda, Jaga, Jajna, Upasana, etc., they forget this goal. They say that only this much is there and nothing beyond. That is the trouble. Otherwise there is no trouble in following that, rituals and undergoing so many disciplines. That will only integrate our being. That will only discipline our being. That way it is fine. But we should know that all the Vedas, whether it is Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda, the ultimate aim is this knowledge of our own identity, real identity. Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti Tapamsi Sarvani Chayad Vadanti. Whatever tapas is mentioned, instructed in our scriptures and all, whatever austerities, whatever tapas is instructed, they are all with this same goal. Just now as I said. Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti. People take to celibacy by wishing what? This same aim, to realize the truth. Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi. I will tell you what that goal in essence. That Sangrahena does not mean summary or brief or briefly or so as it is translated. It means I will tell you the essence of it. That is the teacher's role. Teacher is not going to give you all the arguments and details, this Shastra, all the Vedas to be taught. It is not like that. A seeker on the path of realization is supposed to get from the teacher only the essence of Brahma Vidya. The rest of it comes by its own manner, in its own way. So he says that I will give you the essence of it, and it is represented by Om. Om iti etat. Om iti etat. It is represented by Om. As I said that Om has got two ways. We should understand this Om in two ways. One is that it is called Omkara Upasana. Omkara Upasana means this Om as a sound and as a concept, we take the help of that to meditate with the Om, and we reach through that. Initially it's a meditative process, and we can reach some meditational goal through that. Another is that Om represents the Brahma Vidya, which means knowledge. So there it is only a symbol of the knowledge. But both can be taken because it is in the beginning part of it. You can take it as the it can be taken as the Upasana Om and also Om representing the Brahma Vidya, the knowledge. Both can be there. In the next verse, he is saying also that Etadhyevaksharam Brahma
एतद्येवाक्षरं ब्रह्म
Etadhyevaksharam Param
एतद्येवाक्षरं परम्
Etadhyevaksharam Jnatva
एतद्येवाक्षरं ज्ञात्वा
Yo yadichyati tasya tad.
यो यदिच्छसि तत् तत्.
See, even Brahman, the concept of Brahman also, generally two are, when the Brahman in its pristine Nirguna Brahman, that is the, we say that Nirguna Brahman. Another is the, when the Brahman is manifest as the universe, when the manifestation is there, then we call it Apara Brahman. Para Brahman and Apara Brahman. So, in the manifest form, it is called the whole cosmic intelligence, that is called the Hiranyagarbha, as I explained yesterday, or Brahma, the creator. It is a concept only, conceptual, that cosmic concept of the. That means when the consciousness does the Atma Buddhi in the whole universe, that is the cosmic consciousness, we call it Brahma. That is, Brahma is the conceptual personality who identifies himself with the cosmic expression. So it is an expressed Brahman. So generally they say by Omkara practice, one can reach to this state also, which is the highest material gain one can think of, the creator's bhumi. That is what the Vedas Karmakanda also say. But one who is a seeker of truth, he has to abandon that also and look only for the Parabrahman, where he understands, he realizes that his identity, the consciousness, is the substratum of the whole world, and it is the world as such is only appearing in that. So both are there. In the first case, it is a step by step. First they will do that, then to further overcome, they will take to the knowledge, which will take them to the transcendental level. In many cases, they will not go to the transcendental level also. But without knowledge, without vichara, as it is said, we cannot have that transcendental level, because the whole revelation takes place in our prajna, bodhi or buddhi, you can say. It is not the analytical buddhi. Analytical buddhi helps us to get to that. But through the analysis, the buddhi undergoes a transformation where the truth shines by itself spontaneously. So we call it pratibodha. There is a name prajna. In Buddhism it is called bodhi. Like that, various names are used. The fundamental of the buddhi, where the revelation takes place, where we come to know the truth, realize the truth. So he says, etat hi eva aksharam brahma, etat hi eva aksharam param. Aksharam means this Omkara. He said, this Omkara itself is the Apara Brahman, and this Omkara itself is the Parabrahman also. Etat hi eva aksharam jnatva yo yadichyati tasya tat. If you practice this Omkara Upasana with proper faith and resolved will, and you go advance with that, then finally one day you will know that the power of this mantra. Jnatva means they come to know this akshara. We know that akshara is Omkara. Then what is the meaning of etad aksharam, etad dhyeva aksharam jnatva? Knowing this akshara. Knowing means when we are given, this is true not only about Omkara, it is true about everything. Suppose the Guru has given you a mantra. You don't know the power of the mantra when you are practicing it in the beginning. You don't know what this mantra is. The Guru may give you the sound, he may explain to you what is the meaning of the word and what is the philosophical idea or the concept where we will have to reach. That he will tell. But only when you do the sadhana by practicing it, and mantra, I tell you, mantra is not just the practicing the sound. Mantra, the word means mananat trayate iti mantra. It means you have to do manana, you have to ruminate on the meaning of that. And even if you ruminate on the meaning, it will not become so efficient as when you have an emotional association with the mantra. Emotional association is what we call bhakti. It's the intensity we have. See, bhakti we say. Bhakti means not always that go to the temple or you worship every morning the Lord. That is not the real bhakti. In one sense, bhakti means surrender to the Supreme. In another sense, bhakti is the intensity with which we are doing anything. Don't we say that devoted to work, he is workaholic. That is another way of expression, but he is devoted to work, we say. So this devotion means that with what intensity? That means it is intensity. When will the intensity come? When I have an emotional association with it. Is it not so? If we don't have the emotional association, we will not have the intensity for that pursuit. Anybody studying, only when he loves study, then there will be automatically an emotional association and he will study very well. Even work also, unless you have the emotional association, suppose those who are doctors and all, if they have the love for the society, I am serving the society through my pursuit, through my practice, then they will have great devotion in their work. That is the emotional association. So in mantra japa also it is the same thing. We go on mechanically doing without inquiring into it, without asking, without questioning our practice. उस दिन भी हम बताए थे ना, हम जब खाना खाते हैं पेट नहीं भरेगा तो हम सोचेंगे नहीं कि क्या खाना खा रहा है, वो खाना है या हम स्वप्न देख रहे हैं. खाना खाने का उद्देश्य है पेट भराना. अगर खाना खा के पेट नहीं भरता है तो हम क्वेश्चन नहीं करेंगे कि हम क्यों खा रहे हैं, क्या खा रहे हैं. लेकिन जब कोई पूजा करते हैं या मंत्र जप करते हैं, कोई ऐसा सवाल नहीं उठाते हैं. वो 40 साल 50 साल 60 साल हो गया वो मंत्र कर रहे हैं, वो भगवान पास में आया या हम भगवान के पास गए, कोई नहीं सोचता है. क्या हुआ है, हमारे पर्सनैलिटी में कुछ चेंज आया है कि नहीं, वो भी नहीं सोचते हैं. मे बी पर्सनैलिटी इज गेटिंग डीजेनरेटेड एवरी डे. अर्लियर वी वर एंग्री विथ सम special thing, now we get angry with everything. All these things are there, but we never inquire into it. That what is happening, are we reaching closer to God or God has come closer to us? Or have we improved in our personality, in our mind, in our emotion? Have I expanded? Have I become unaffected, more unaffected? Nothing we inquire. So our sadhana does not progress, it becomes stale. Just like our usual life cyclic process, sadhana is one chakka in that whole cycle. Sadhana also we make in the sadhana is not taking. Earlier I said the progression. Yamaraja is saying that pariyanti mudaha. Pariyanti means cyclic motion. For the dhiraha it is not like that. It is a progression. Our sadhana always should be a progression. But in our life there is no progression, and when we take the spiritual sadhana also, that fits into this cycle and we are in the same chakka. घूमते ही रहता है, उसमें एक थोड़ा पूजा भी लग गया है. That progression doesn't come. We have to make it by inquiry. We have to open up and then look for the progression, so that every day becomes a new day, becomes a further opening. We have to expand. So this is not only about Omkara, this is true of any practice, any mantra japa, that initially when we start, we don't know its power. Now if we do it with proper instruction, properly, with proper emotional association, then we find that that mantra is becoming like a blazing fire. And more sadhana we do, we find that the fire is engulfing not only me but the whole world. That to me, the perception of the world changes. The whole world becomes as if appearing in that fire, in that Chaitanya. So, Omkara also, when we start, we may not know the power of it. But having full faith on it, evaluation of it, proper evaluation of it, when we practice, then it takes us to the real first-hand knowledge of what this mantra is, what this Omkara is. Am I clear? So this is the meaning of etadhyeva aksharam jnatva, that knowing what Om is, then yo yadichhati tasyadat. If you want to remain huge with the Hiranyagarbha Brahma, you want to become, you become that. If you want to transcend that and get identified with the Atma, the real Atma, the Brahman, you can go for that also. Whatever you want, you select. The choice is with you. Previously, Yamaraja said that knowing that Dhruva cannot be obtained by Adhruva, even then I did the Jajja and I have been trapped by this Yamaraja's pada. This also means the same thing, that he was trapped by one position in the world. Forget about Yamaraja. Mythology, it is the message of the mythology to be taken. What his meaning is that I got trapped by some famous or big position. That has to be taken. But Nachiketa, you have rejected that also, he said there. Here also it is said that by the Omkara sadhana, you can get trapped in this, or you can transcend that and go for the ultimate knowledge also. Then further he elaborates in the next verse, Etadalambanam shreshtham
Etadalambanam shreshtham
Etadalambanam param
Etadalambanam param
Etadalambanam jnatva
Etadalambanam jnatva
Brahmaloke mahiyate
Brahmaloke mahiyate
Etadalambanam shreshtham
Etadalambanam shreshtham
Etadalambanam param
Etadalambanam param
Etadalambanam jnatva
Etadalambanam jnatva
Brahmaloke mahiyate.
Brahmaloke mahiyate.
See, that aksharam here is replaced with now alambanam, which I was just now saying, the same thing. That is, whatever you are holding on to, that alambana, that is called alambana, means refuge, where you have taken refuge. When the Guru gives you a mantra or a Shakti in you, now what is that? That is an alambana or refuge for you. Whether you call it the mantra or you call it the Lord or the Guru, whatever. That becomes, whether it is the Guru or Ishvara or the mantra, that is our alambana, our refuge, that whenever we want to hold on to it, we hold on to that will relieve me. Now generally we hold on to it only when we are in danger and difficulty, otherwise we forget it. Is it not so? In this case, it has to be the only alambana, the one alambana alone, nothing else. That means whether you are happy, in happiness you take its refuge. If you are not happy, then also you take the same refuge. That is, it is an unfailing refuge for us. So he says that when you are holding on to the mantra, here it is the Omkara, you hold on to it that this is the Shrestha alambana we can think of in this world. And this is the ultimate Param alambana we can have in this world. So for anything happening, you will not run to the temple, you will not run to the astrologer, you will not run to so many other people or to the president or the prime minister, nothing. You will hold on to your alambana. Actually, we miss that. That is why we never come to know the power of the mantra. When we hold on to this alambana as my only refuge, much more than andheka lathi, it is for everything I am holding on to, I am taking a complete refuge. Then the sadhana becomes very powerful and the mantra opens up its own truth, its own power. So this holding on to this refuge, everywhere you will find this synthesis is there. In Yoga Sutram also, you will find that initially it starts with the what is yoga, how to attain it, how to attain samadhi, etc. What are the difficulties the mind faces, klishta vritti, aklishta vritti, etc. So many, it will go on up to the 22nd sutra or so, 22 sutras or so. Then in the 23, sutra number 23, most probably I am correct, he is saying that Ishvara pranidhanat va. That means you do all these things with practice this, practice that, all these things, or you just surrender to the Lord. Ishvara pranidhanat va. That means alternate is to, you simply surrender yourself. But this surrender is not easy. That is why people have to do all those things. We think we have surrendered. We have not, we generally do not, in the name of surrendering to the Ishvara or Guru, Actually, we surrender to our own desires and slavery to the objective world, thinking that I have surrendered. Nobody questions the surrender. Surrender, if it is a real surrender, then how to test it? There are various tests. You will always feel an ashraya bodha. आप समझते हैं आश्रय बोधा? आश्रय बोधा means you will never get disturbed. Always you will be in the lap of the Lord. That means surrender. And in doing anything also, Ramana Maharshi says, Ishvara arpitam nechaya kritam. When will you say that it has been with the will of God? When you are not doing according to your desire. Whatever to be done, you are doing. But feeling wise, you will have that sense of ashraya bodha, that I am always in the lap of the Lord. Our Baba, Gurudev, earlier he used to be on Shishasana always. Most of the time of the day and night he used to be on Shishasana. That was an effortful, although he was most relaxed in that. But when I saw him, he had stopped his Shishasana also. He was always in Garbhasana. Garbhasana means the fetus remain in the Garbha like this. So he was putting a loop, rope with a loop was hanging from the ceiling. 2 loops like that. And he used to put his leg in that and always remain in Garbhasana. So he said that I always like to remain in Garbhasana, like the bhruna, like the fetus in the mother's womb. Because if you come out of the womb, you have to eat, you have to drink, at something you have to do. But in the mother's womb, वो खाना वाना अपने ही चल रहा है, पता भी नहीं है क्या हो रहा है. All nutritions are coming, everything is happening. You don't come to know. So that is the feeling of surrender, that we should feel that ashraya bodha in us, that I have nothing to do. See, this is there in almost all the religion, that in our religious practices and spiritual practices, the fulcrum is this synthesis, is this ultimate eternal truth. Now this eternal, ultimate eternal truth may not be so explicitly there in other religions also, but is it not true that most of the religions, they say God is omnipresent, omniscient and omnipotent? Is it not so? Mostly it will be like that. Now this is a religious statement, but those who are doing puja and all, this religious statement also they follow, they don't follow, they forget. What does it mean? Omnipresent means what? He is everywhere there. Then should you go to the puja room to do the puja, look for the idol? Your puja should be always on. I understand that throughout the day we remain busy with it, so we need certain place where we can become calm, and going to the puja room, it happens. It gives us an atmosphere. If we do it with that full awareness, it is okay. But do we really do? Whenever we are in trouble, we will run to the temple, Kali temple especially, or to the puja room and offer our prayer over there. Is it not so? That means we are thinking that God is limited in the idol and not even here, not even there. Swamiji used to say that you are all in Kerala, all will go to Guruvayur temple, and that is close to our ashram, only 35 kilometers from our ashram. So all who visit, they go to Guruvayur. So Swamiji used to ask that, have you left your Guruvayur in the temple or carried him with you? So generally we leave. Now this is all omnipresent. Then omniscient means he is all knowing. Is it not? If God knows everything, we say also God knows everything, God knows, भगवान को सब कुछ पता है, लेकिन हम बोलते ही हैं, सोचते नहीं हैं. भगवान को पता सब कुछ पता है तो प्रेयर करने की ज़रूरत है क्या? आपको बताने की ज़रूरत है कि हमारा बेटा का नौकरी चाहिए या हमारी बेटी की शादी होना चाहिए, अच्छा दामाद मिलना चाहिए, बोलने का कोई ज़रूरत होती है क्या? वो बिफोर यू नो गॉड नोज व्हाट यू नीड, and that is why you are saved. Suppose all whatever you pray was sanctioned by the God, you would have been in trouble. We have many wrong prayers. Is it not? That is why Rabindranath has sung that আমি বহু বাসনায় প্রাণপণে চাই বঞ্চিত করে বাঁচালে মরে. I ask for so many things with so many desires. By depriving me of those desireful things, you have saved me. That is true of everybody. Because our desires are often wrong. If the God had sanctioned every, God knows that this is wrong and that fellow will be put into trouble if I sanction this desire. So he doesn't sanction it. He knows much better than us. He doesn't need to be told that हमारा बेटा का नौकरी चाहिए. वो क्यों, उनके ऊपर सब कुछ छोड़ दीजिए, पूरा आश्रय बोध के साथ उनके ऊपर पूरी तरह से छोड़ दीजिए, वो अपने आप होगा जो होगा. By that what will happen? You will become in tune with the infinite harmony in the nature. By taking away that special desire and all, when we surrender, we come in tune, just like floating on the water with the waves. You don't have to fight with the waves anymore. In tune with the infinitude, in tune with the fundamental rhythm of nature. In that case, the best of the things will happen to us. A mother, this always Swamiji used to say, that a mother, suppose all mothers, are they not thinking about their son's welfare? Any mother will think about the son's welfare. Now, a mother who is worried about, suppose, what has happened to my beta, what has happened to my son, maybe some accident also has happened. One mother is worried about what has happened, and she is very affected, anxious, disturbed by the whole thing. Another mother coolly thinks that may everything good happen to my son or everywhere. That surrender is there. She is not getting anxious, agitated or anything. She is coolly surrendering that to the whatever auspicious will happen. If suppose he recovers with a damaged brain or so, what will happen? Is it good? It is worse than the death. So whatever the best possible will happen for a mother who thinks of all other children also, not only her son, and has a very expanding mind, surrendered mind, relaxed mind, which is in tune with the infinite. Because she is in tune with the infinitude, with the natural rhythm of nature. The best things will happen to her. Whereas the other mother, being anxious of her child only, she is restricting her. She has become constricted. Is it not? She will become constricted in her mind. So her mind force will not be in harmony with the natural rhythm of the universal nature, that whole nature. So the power of welfare, the power of Mangala Shakti will be much less in that case. It will not be there. The nature's help will not be there. So, if the Lord is omniscient, He knows everything. Actually, we don't need to pray anything at all. We need pray to make the surrender fulfill. That we may pray for, oh Lord, make my surrender real. And try to surrender. That is enough. You don't have to pray. Try to surrender the ego, that is enough. Then, the third one is omniscient, omnipotent. That means He is doing everything. He is the doer of everything. He is master of the world. Everything is done by Him. In that case, can there be any anxiety for us? Because whatever has happened, suppose I have lost all my kith and kin, I have lost my property, I have lost my job, everything, I am on the street. Then also, has it not been done by Lord? Because He is the doer of everything. So religiously also, if I have full faith in this statement that Lord knows everything and Lord is doing everything, then whatever He has done to me, it has been done by Lord, and we should be ready to accept it. Is it not? This acceptance gives us tremendous power. This acceptance is the key to a happy and stress-free life. See, something has happened. Suppose you have lost your building, lost your everything, property, lost your kith and kin, and so you are standing on the street. By saying that, oh, हमारा क्यों हो गया, दूसरा किसी का भी तो होता था, हमारा क्यों ही ऐसा हाल है. If you say and cry like that, is it the stress in your mind is because of this, because of your non-acceptance of the situation. The situation जब हुआ है, by non-accepting what can you do, you tell me. जब कोई परिस्थिति उपस्थित हुई है, तब उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करके आप क्या कर सकते हैं? वो तो हो गया ना. What you can do to redress it? For the redressal you do. But what you are doing by becoming anxious and agitated and all is the non-acceptance of the situation. Is it clear? This non-acceptance is creating all the stress. And you are not able to redress the situation also properly because of this disturbance created by the stress of non-acceptance. Suppose you accept it, immediately the mind will become cool and you will be in harmony with nature, and the solution also will come to you, that what am I supposed to do? Automatically nature will provide the solution. From where the calamity has come, from there the solution also will come. From within, everything is coming from within. It will automatically rise in the mind and you will do accordingly without any affectation. So this is what is meaning of alambanam, the holding on to something as the refuge. That Bhagavad Gita discourse started because Arjuna said that I have taken refuge in him. The 7th verse of 2nd chapter. What is that? Karpanya dosho apahata svavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yat shreyasyat nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Prapannam means I have taken refuge in you. That is why when he takes refuge, Krishna could not, when he took refuge, he confessed, Krishna could not refuse to tell him where lies the redress. This what I was telling, there is a good shloka in this, suddenly it came out. It is from where I don't know. Rupam rupa vivarjitasya bhavato dhyanena yat kalpitam stutya nirvachaniyata khila guru duri krita yanmaya vyapitvam cha nirakritam bhagavato yat tirtha yatradina kshantavyam jagadisha yad vikalata doshatrayam matkritam shantavyam jagadisha yad vikalata doshatrayam matkritam. He says that, O Jagadisha, O the Lord of the universe, please forgive me for the 3 improper behavior, dosha, I have done. For these 3 kinds of improper behavior I have done, have been done by me. Please forgive me. What are the 3 improper behavior? Rupam rupa vivarjitasya bhavato dhyanena yat kalpitam. You are beyond all rupa, beyond all forms. Being that in meditation, I have meditated on so many of your rupas. I have created so many forms in my meditation for you who is rupa vivarjita, who is not having, who is transcending all forms. So by that I have denied that you are beyond all forms, you are transcendental. Stutya anirvachaniyata akhila guru duri krita yanmaya. In my verses I have composed, the shlokas I have praised your glories in so many ways. But by that I have only negated that you are anirvachaniya, you are indescribable. Lord is indescribable. So when I want to describe him this way, that way, and flowery language, so many things, actually I am belittling him. Is it not? By giving a description to the indescribable, we are actually belittling him. It is a way of vision, but these descriptions are necessary for us to again grow. That is true. Vyapityam cha nirakritam bhagavato yat tirtha yatradina. That you are all pervading, that I have negated by looking for you and searching you, going to various tirtha sthana and various yatras in various special places. He is all pervading, so why should we go to tirtha and yatra and all? They are necessary as austerity, of course, for our sadhana. But we don't do it. We think that अमरनाथ में जाके शिव जी का दर्शन करेंगे. ओ कितना सुंदर दर्शन हुआ, इतना बड़ा लिंग था, ओ आइस का बड़ा हुआ. हम जब देखा तो पूरा है. भक्त लोग जब जाते हैं वो पूरा पिघल जाता है, देख नहीं पाता है. लेकिन हम इतना फॉर्चुनेट है कि वो छत तक बड़ा हुआ था, बोलते हैं ना. This is all negating the real nature of the Lord. What is the next shloka? Oh, these are almost same as Bhagavad Gita. Little difference is there. न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित्
न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित्
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे
न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित्
न जायते म्रियते वा विपश्चित्
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्
नायं कुतश्चिन्न बभूव कश्चित्
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे.
In Bhagavad Gita it comes as mriyate va kadachit, something like that. Here they have replaced with vipaschit. Vipaschit means a jnani, a knower. There it is about the Atma. Here also it is about the Atma and Brahman. But they have used the word as vipaschit because a jnani is one who has identified his I with the real identity, the universal Atma. So that way whatever is true of the Atma, everywhere we have spoken of, that will be true of a knower also, but knower's identity, whatever he feels. So here he says, Na jayat, Nachiketa wanted to know which is not affected by the Sharira, that is, which is beyond space, beyond time, beyond causality. That means the gross body, if it is an Atma which is moving from body to body, as the usual concept, then it is not the Atma Nachiketa wanted to know. That is space limited, time limited. After the body falls, this Atma goes and gets into another body and all. That is not the Atma in spirituality. If at all something like is there, it is for one day science to discover. They can find out because it's an objective thing moving from here to here. So Nachiketa wanted to know an Atma which is not conditioned by anything in the objective at all. That is what he is saying. He is saying that when the body dies or body falls, nothing happens to the Atma. Because the Atma is, or the Jnani is, because the Jnani has identified his own identity with this Atma, na jayate mriyate va. He never gets born, never dies. He is not touched by the changes of the body. So jara, marana, janma, jara, marana, everything, it is independent of that. That the body, mind, personality is undergoing the changes. The Atma doesn't get changed at all. It is like the sphatika is there. Sphatika, you know, the crystal, a colorless crystal. When you hold a red hibiscus here or anything here, the crystal appears to be red. Is it not? Because of the reflections inside, the crystal becomes red. If you remove the flower, the crystal becomes colorless. Now, when we were seeing the crystal as colored also, has anything happened to the crystal? There is no change. That is why the moment it is removed, it is the same thing. Like that the Atma is. It appears to be undergoing sukha, dukkha, all those modifications. But really it is not undergoing any modification of the body, mind, emotional personality. So once we understand, we will understand that the Atma na jayate mriyate va kadachit. Na jayate mriyate va. Not only that, the second line again points out to the Vivartavada. Na ayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. This is very important. You should not forget. Na ayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. That means it has not come out of anything and it has not given rise to anything also. Na babhuva kaschit means it has not produced anything also. Now, we are talking about the source of the universe. The Atma, the Brahman, the consciousness which is the source of the universe. He says there is no cause and there is no effect also. It has not come out of anything means there is no cause behind it and it has not produced Anything means there is no effect also. Then where from the universe has come? The objectitude and subjectitude, where from they have come? That is what we are saying, that it is not coming out of a source, material source. If any material source is there, that material source is again within the universe. So that will again be like yesterday we showed, it will be infinite regression. Whatever is the source, if it is a material source, it is again part of the larger universe. Where from that has come? Again a material source have to be conceived of. That will be contained in the universe. Where from that has come? Another so it will never lead to any solution at all. So the absolute reality by definition has to be beyond causality, beyond time, beyond duality also. So he is specifying that Nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. It has not come from anywhere and it has not given rise to anything also. Because if it gives rise to the parinama srishti, as I explained yesterday, then again it is linked by the causality. So naturally we will look for the cause of that again. When it is causeless means it is effectless also. Otherwise it will be in the chain of causality. Are you able to understand? Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. This, when the body is killed, it never gets affected by that at all. Ajaha, this is unborn. Nityaha, it is always the same everywhere. Shashvata, eternal. Purana. Purana I explained yesterday. It means ancient, but ancient means beyond time here. It never changes. It has always been there and beyond time it is there. Here it is the transcending time. Next verse also just as an extension of this. But this verse has this very important point of Nayam kutaschit na babhuva kaschit. This speaks about the transcending causality. That you should remember very well. 19th verse. Hanta chen manyate hantum.
Hanta chen manyate hantum.
Hataschen manyate hatam.
Hataschen manyate hatam.
Ubhau tau na vijanito.
Ubhau tau na vijanito.
Nayam hanti na hanyate.
Nayam hanti na hanyate.
If some killer, this is a very extreme statement, don't try to make it simple meaning. He said that even if a killer thinks that I am killing and a killed thinks that I am getting killed, both do not know, because this Atma, where his identity is, it never can kill anything, it never gets killed also. So ये सुन के मौखिक वेदांतिन बन के जाके खून खराबी मत करना. हमने बताया था ना वो स्टोरी, जो हरिहर तीर्थ महाराज के पास एक गए थे, एक भक्त गए थे, उनका एक प्रॉब्लम हुआ था, तो वो बोले महाराज हमें बड़ी समस्या बन गई है, क्या हम दोनों आपसे दीक्षा लिए हैं और हमारी औरत तो आपकी बहुत बड़ी भक्त हैं, हमसे भी उनका ज्ञान भी बहुत ज़्यादा है और वो तो वेदांत समझती भी है, हमें तो उतना समझ में नहीं आता, लेकिन वो तो वेदांत बहुत अच्छी तरह समझ लेती है. आजकल क्या हुआ, नहीं तो समस्या क्या है ना, समस्या क्या हुआ कि आजकल हर दिन वो रात को बहुत देर से वापस आती है, मध्य रात्रि के बाद वापस आती है. हम जब कुछ बोलते हैं कि ये ठीक नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, तो वो बोलते हैं कि हम क्या शरीर है, हम तो आत्मा है. आप गुरुजी के पास जाते हैं, कुछ सीखे नहीं, गुरुजी इतने बार बोले हैं कि हम आत्मा हैं, वो तो जो कुछ करता है तो शरीर करता है, हम तो आत्मा है. आत्मा थोड़ी उसमें से कोई इम्प्योरिटी, कोई अशुद्धि आती है आत्मा में, कुछ नहीं. तो हम क्या बोले महाराज, हम तो वो तो सचमुच वेदांत ही बोल रहे हैं जो आपने कहा है. तो हम क्या करें. महाराज बोले हाँ ठीक ही है, लेकिन उसका भी एक दवाई भी है, आप एक मोटा सा लाठी खरीद लीजिए और उसको दरवाज़ा के पास रख लीजिए. वो जब अंदर आएगी ना, तुरंत दरवाज़ा बोल्ट करके और मारना शुरू कीजिए. जितना चिल्लाएगी बोलना, अरे हम तो शरीर को मारते हैं, आप तो आत्मा है, हम तो शरीर को मार रहे हैं, आप तो आत्मा है, आपको क्या है, आप क्यों. सो ठीक हो गया. So this is the that Vedanta problem here. The Vedanta, if it is only understood as a, we call Brahma Vidya, and also there is a term called Brahma Bandhu, that a friend of a knower, he takes the brilliance as a reflected brilliance. All these things are there. So ubhau tau na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. This Atma can never be killed. It never gets involved in any work done by the body at all. It is independent of the body. 20th verse. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan.
अणोरणीयान् महतो महीयान्
आत्मास्य जन्तोर्निहितो गुहायाम्
आत्मास्य जन्तोर्निहितो गुहायां
तमक्रतुः पश्यति वीतशोको
तमक्रतुः पश्यति वीतशोको
धातुप्रसादान् महिमानमात्मनः.
धातुप्रसादान् महिमानमात्मनः.
This is another very important and very good shloka. Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan
अणोरणीयान् महतो महीयान्
आत्मास्य जन्तोर्निहितो गुहायाम्
आत्मास्य जन्तोर्निहितो गुहायां
तमक्रतुः पश्यति वीतशोको
तमक्रतुः पश्यति वीतशोको
धातुप्रसादान् महिमानमात्मनः.
धातुप्रसादान् महिमानमात्मनः.
He says anoho aniyan. Anoho aniyan, comparative statement. That means whatever anu is, Sanskrit is sukshma. It is not just atom, it is sukshma. The maximum sukshma you can think of, that subtlest. Now anoho aniyan means even subtler than the subtlest. I have already explained these terms because it is not an objective subtlety we are thinking of. It is the subject in which the concept of subtlety is appearing. So it is subtler than any objective concept. It is not an object. The whole objectitude is appearing in this. So anoho aniyan means subtler than the subtlest. At the same time mahato mahiyan, bigger than the biggest. So intentionally they are putting this contradiction. You try to imagine something bigger than the biggest and the subtler than the subtlest. What is it? So, is it so that it is bigger than the biggest and subtler than the subtlest? That means we cannot approach both ways. Bigger than the biggest means it is unapproachable, and subtler than the subtlest means also it is unapproachable. Then can we know this truth? Can we know this Atma? Yes. Because Atma asya jantor nihito guhayam. You don't have to go for subtlety or subtler than the subtlest or the bigger than the biggest or grosser than the grossest. Nothing. It is right within your Hrit Guha or Buddhi Guha, right within. Not only that within, it is the I we are always referring to. Without the I, even a muhurta cannot be there. Whether it is dream or wakeful. Always that I is there, but we don't know the dimension of that I, the reality of that, real nature of that I. So it is right within our heart. Jantoho guhayam nihitaha. It's very well kept in our Hrit Guha. So we don't have to run anywhere at all. We have simply to go within. What? It is the appearance of the world. It is our tendency to cling to the world which is making it hidden. Guha means it is hidden in the cavern of the heart. Why it is hidden? It is not hidden by its anything. It is hidden by Swagunair Nigudham. We have explained already. It is hidden because of our tendency to always get engaged with the world, either the external world or the internal world of thoughts and emotions and all. So that I, the consciousness which is revealing the external world and revealing the internal world, we are always missing. Because whatever it is revealing, our focus is on that revealed and we miss the revealer. When it is revealing the external objects, our focus is on the external objects. When it is revealing our thoughts and emotion, our focus is on what thought, what emotion. In both the cases, the revealer is missed. So when we stop looking for anything different from us, then it reveals itself. When the whole world is forgotten, mind you, world is forgotten means you are also forgotten. Your personality will be there, the world will be forgotten, it can never happen. You are part of the world. Our body, mind, personality is part of the world. When the whole world is forgotten, then this consciousness is not getting engaged in revealing anything. Do you understand this point? When anything, even the concept of God, this is a concept. The consciousness has to reveal this concept. Concept is jada, it is inert. The consciousness has to reveal it. Now, when there is no concept in the mind, no vritti in the mind, any vritti, be it God, Brahman, devil or whatever, that vritti is being revealed by the consciousness. Is it not? Otherwise you will not know the vritti. So when there is no vritti, the consciousness is not getting engaged in revealing anything. So it remains free. That is the time it reveals itself. It is not revealing anything second. So it reveals itself. So atmasya jantor nihito guhayam tam akratuhu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanaha. He says that dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanaha mahimanam. Atmanaha is Shashti Vibhakti here. Of the Atma, the Mahima of the Atma. That is the glory of the Atma. What is the glory? As they are saying, it never gets affected by anything, it never changes, it is bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest, it reveals everything, it is the supporter of the entire universe. All these are glories of the Atma. But they are glory of the Atma means what? I. They are glories of I. So we have to understand that it is the glories of the Atma, they are all my glory. How can it happen? It happens like this. Dhatu prasadat. Tam akratuhu means when the mind becomes desireless. Akratuhu means desireless. A desireless person sees the Mahima of the Atma and becomes Vita Shokaha. He is freed of all grief by this experience of the Atma. Dhatu prasadat. By the purification of the elements of our being. Dhatu means the elements of our being. The mind, intelligence, emotional part, everything. The elements of our being. Dhatu prasadat means when placidity dawns in the elements of our being. That is by the purification of our being, when the placidity dawns in our mind, intelligence, emotion, everywhere, he sees the Atma's glory, that he remains unaffected by anything happening anywhere in the world. They say that even all the oceans get suddenly dried one day, the jnani will not be surprised. He is ready to accept anything happening in the world. Tamakratuhu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadat mahimanamatmanaha. I wanted to stop here because this points out that ultimately it is the purification of our being. So I will relate to it the last, towards the end verse from the same Kathopanishad. We will not be able to proceed further this time. Next year again, perhaps from here I will take up. 2.3.9. Go to 2.3.9. Na sandrishe rupamasya. Got it? 2.3.9. Na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya. No, second half, third chapter, 9th verse. It is from the end, only 10 verses before that, I think. Shall I chant? Na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya.
न सन्दृशे तिष्ठति रूपमस्य
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
न चक्षुषा पश्यति कश्चनैनम्
हृदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लिप्तो
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लृप्तो
हृदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लिप्तो
हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लृप्तो
Ya etad viduramritaste bhavanti.
Ya etad viduramritaste bhavanti.
Ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. One who comes to know this truth, realize this truth, they become immortal. This verse and many other verses of this ending is there in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, which you might have heard my singing also in this Tamishwarana Swarana. Rabindranath Thakur has taken this end of the sentence and plugged it to all the ending of the verses. There are different verses from Shvetashvatara, but ending, Rabindranath has given the tune, so he has plugged this end part in all those verses. He says, Na sandrishe tishtati rupamasya. That means the rupa of this truth cannot be seen in anything that is visible. It is another way of saying, which we have been discussing, same thing. Na chakshusha pashyati kaschanainam. Nobody can see it with the eyes. Then how it is to be known? He says, Hrida. That is why I am taking this verse. This is a method is given. Hrida manisha manasa avikliptaha ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. Hrit means our emotional part of our being. हृदय भी से उनका बहुत बड़ा हृदय है. कब बोलते हैं? जब emotionally he is embracing, all embracing. So hrit means the emotional part of our being. Hrida means by the emotion, that Tritiya Vibhakti. Manisha has come from manit. Manit means the buddhi. The buddhi, actually buddhi we always say the analytical buddhi, that which does the analysis. Mind goes on thinking here and there, and buddhi analyzes and takes a resolve that this is true, this is wrong, etc. I will do this, I will not do this, etc. That is the buddhi. But buddhi, when we go to the fundamental level, actually buddhi is the revealer of everything. The understanding, unfoldment takes place in the buddhi. That is from where the buddhi is coming. So this analytical buddhi can remain functionless also when the reality will shine. Actually it shines at that point, when the buddhi is effortless. That effortfulness of the buddhi means analysis is going on. When the buddhi also becomes effortless, then the truth shines there. That comes in the next verse, of course. So, Hrida Manisha, Manasa means the mind. That means three faculties, inner faculties, three aspects of our personality. One is the emotional aspect, one is the intelligential aspect, the other is the mental aspect. Abhikliptaha, this is a very special word used in the Upanishads again and again, which means purification, maturation, perfection, many things. You look into the dictionary, there will be so many meanings given. Maturation, perfection, purification. That means it is not, the knowledge is not that Yamaraja told me and I knew. It's not so. As Nachiketa already said in the beginning, Anushishtastvaya aham etad vidyam. I would like to realize the truth of it by following the discipline given by you under your tutelage. So, it is a process of transformation of the personality. This is the fundamental message of the Upanishads. That it is not that I read the book and come to know what is Atma, what is Brahman. Well, you will come to know what is Atma, but it is never going to become your Atma. To become your Atma, your mind, intelligence, emotions have to undergo a transformation. Because why is it that we are not able to understand my Atma is all-pervading, all-embracing, unchanging, untainted? It is because of the mind and intelligence and the emotion, they got polluted by constant interaction with the fragmented world, with the small things, with the gross things. They have imbibed only grossness, smallness and fragmentedness. So they are not able to conceive the real nature of the soul. So soul remains soul. Even that is why the Shastras say we are already immortal. Shinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha. We are already immortal. We are already the soul. The soul need not be attained at all. It is. But we are not able to know. Who is not able to know? It is our mind, intelligence, emotion who are not able to understand, not able to realize the real soul. So where is the transformation necessary? Naturally, the transformation is necessary in the mind, intelligence and emotion. So it is a process of transformation of the mind, intelligence and emotion, a process of perfection, process of purification, process of integration of the different aspects of our being, which results in the immortality. Ya etad viduhu hrida manisha manasa abhikliptaha ya etad viduhu amritaste bhavanti. They become immortal. न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्चाभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते परास्यर्शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च य एतद् विदु अमृतास्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदु अमृतास्ते भवन्ति एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लिप्तो एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसा विक्लिप्तो य एतद् विदुरमृता स्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति. हरि